Hello, everyone. My name is Floria Sunshine Johnson, and I came to Mexico from Virginia, and at this point, I'm living here in Mexico.
My name is Savvy, and I am from Michigan, and I arrived in Mexico in 2021.
I'm Sunya, and I arrived in Mexico in the summer of 2021. This was my second time coming to Mexico. And when I came in 2021, I decided to stay.
I moved here from Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I was teaching. So at that time, I just got fed up with the school system, and I was already had turned 70. So I just got tired of the inability to be effective as a teacher. And I already knew something about Mexico coming from New Mexico because I had a lot of interaction with students and their parents that moved to New Mexico. So I just decided I don't want any more of this. I quit my job and I was here 3 weeks later.
I originally came to Mexico because I wanted to get my certification as a TEFL English teacher. Mm-hmm. And once I got here, I fell in love with the place. I am a retired nurse. After 34 years working for the government, I decided that I wanted to do something that was more in line with my purpose and destiny. And so I found Chapala as a place to start doing that.
Mm-hmm. I came to Mexico on an artist residency. I'm a textile and performance artist, and I had heard about this particular residency that I attended about 10 years prior. And I have gone to residencies over the years, but this one I wanted to come to because it was for an extended stay, and the stars aligned. I came here for over 2 months, about 2.5 months, fell in love with it, just felt like home. I left here in August and I moved back here in December.
I would say the best part of just landing in Mexico, because I've lived different places. When I first got here, I was in Guadalajara getting my teaching certification. Then I went to Mazatlan. I went to San Antonio. When I found this place, this is where I knew I wanted to stay. This is home for me.
Chapala was an easy pick for me. It's central Mexico. I can go from here to any place else I want to go. If I want to go to Mexico City or Mazatlan or even all the way to Merida, just being centrally located in central Mexico was nice. The fact that I can go to the rooftop mirador and see the mountains and the water, it was a done deal for me. But some of the individuals who have come and not assimilated, that part disturbs me. I think if you're going to come here, I think it's polite to learn the language and try to use it on a regular basis, opposed to having this attitude that, no, I need you to talk in my language. That part I don't like. But again, that's not Mexico. That's some of the individuals who have dropped in for whatever reason.
Yes.
I feel so much safer here
than I was in the States.
Than I do in the United States.
Yes. Now, we don't make ourselves victims. You don't walk around the street 2 o'clock in the morning, but we attend a lot of events. And in those events, it's, sometimes it's late. And cabs are not available, but we have created relationships with taxi cab drivers that will pick us up and take us home if we're out later than we need to be.
And that being said, though, I mean, there have been times when we have been out at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning, especially during the holidays.
Yes.
Yes. Because there's so much excitement and revelry. But I generally feel safe. I'm not going to put myself in any crazy situations, but the overarching thing for me is that I'm not afraid of the police here.
Exactly.
They're not looking for me. The police here have been very helpful. They say hello. They answer questions. It's been a refreshing change.
Exactly. I have to agree. When I first landed in Guadalajara going to school, walking to school and seeing the policemen on the streets with rifles, I wasn't afraid. Whereas if I had been in the US and just getting pulled over in a car by the police, my blood pressure goes up.
Traumatic.
But not here. I'm not afraid of the dogs that are on the street. So, no, in Mexico, I feel safe. There's been so many times when I've walked down the street and a Mexican man will say, "My sister, welcome, my sister." Yes. So I feel like you're my family.
There are not as many of us here, although our numbers are growing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're coming here as Black people with a desire to become a part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
We're not hiding behind gates.
No.
We're not refusing to speak Spanish.
No.
We are wanting to be a part of the family.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
I think that we are being received as such.
Yes.
For me, the whole renting and lodging process has been very serendipitous and the result of prayer. It was through conversations and networking that I was able to find the house that I live in Chapala. As I said, I'm a textile artist, and I had breakfast with another artist. And through that conversation, I found out about a space available in their boutique hotel. They were looking for another long-term resident. I interviewed with them over the phone, and that was it. I tell people that once you get here and get your feet on the ground, all sorts of things open up.
If it wasn't for Sunya, I wouldn't be living where I am currently. The people that owned that boutique hotel interviewed me, much like they did for her, and it was a done deal. So I spent the night, one night, I woke up the next morning, I said, "This is home. This feels good." And I'm still in that same suite. It's not cheap, but I would say it's less expensive than what it was in the US, for sure.
Well, I found an apartment online through Facebook, and when I arrived at the apartment, it was not the one that had been pictured. And this lady would not talk to me because I wanted my money back. I had given her $500. And I'm like, what is this? This is not the picture that's on your website. Anyway, I left, and she didn't give me back my money. Back in February last year, I had a landlord. I gave my deposit, and that's all. She wrote the receipt for the deposit. And 2 days later, I decided I didn't want it because they were adding expenses to that rental that they didn't talk to me about. Okay? Because I did ask questions. I guess I didn't ask other questions that I should have known about, but I didn't know. So, lessons learned.
It's easy to go to the markets. The markets are amazing. Yes. The fruit and vegetables are so fresh and so plentiful, so flavorful. The tianguis are really fun to me because you can buy anything from soup to nuts to underwear to pots and pans to makeup to shoes, you name it, you can buy it there. It's just wonderful. I save a lot of money by shopping and buying groceries. I also like the fact that I can walk to get my groceries. Yeah. I'm not hoarding here.
Right.
I'm not filling up my refrigerator with stuff that, I'll buy what I need for a few days, then I'll go back and buy something else. It's just a different way of being and shopping that is much more sustainable and healthy.
And you can't store vegetables for a long period of time. When I get mine, like if I get spinach, if I cook it that day, or I'm gonna make a salad by the next day, if you haven't eaten that food, it's gone. It's not edible. That just gives me the confidence to know this stuff is fresh.
No
it doesn't have
preservatives.
no preservatives. I'm so happy about that. I can live on my income and my Social Security income. And then I have 4 wonderful children who have supported me financially and prayerfully. The only thing they asked me when I told them I wanted to go to Mexico, how much money do you need? And they still support me here. And they're ready to come and visit now. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the things that is really different here, I witnessed Sunya do this the other day, is she needed to buy some batteries.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't have to buy the whole pack. She could just buy 2 out of the pack. So we're able to buy what we need. We're not oversold here.
Oh,
So that is something that I really appreciate.
man, I thought I had to buy the whole pack, which I did.
Or you can go to the market and buy half a cabbage.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of customs here I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And it just makes my life so much better. Well, actually, I found this place through another friend of mine, Beverly. She used to live in the building next door. So she said, come with me to San Nicolas and we're going to go down to the country club and have lunch. And then I want you to meet Mario, who is the owns the property. And so we came down here and he had an apartment available and I took it that day. And then Sunya came down. I hadn't met Savvy yet, but she came down and she looked at it and we're looking at each other going, yeah. So he allowed us to tour the house and we actually held on to the keys. Mm-hmm. We just prayerfully considering what we're doing. And, this wasn't a foolish move. Maybe for some people it was, because she came down and I was in Virginia. Next thing I know, she's sitting on the steps, got the keys, and she said, look at God. And I'm like, they rented the place. But that was the plan. And so we started putting together different ideas and things that we wanted to do. I want to cook here. I want to do my recipes here. We're going to open that space down under the garage. There's a kitchen to do wings, waffles, and all kind of American food. So this is the ideal place. I mean, where can you get up and go see this every morning? Well, here in San Nicolas, bus stop's right there. See that bus?
Right there.
And he goes all the way to the to the bus station. And I usually walk down because I walk every day. I'm out of here every day so I can keep this body moving. And when I go grocery shopping, I just call a driver. It's fairly easy.
Really?
I don't want a car. Now, at some point, maybe we'll get some type of a four-wheeler or van.
We're going to get an
ATV.
Yeah.
To just go up to the street and go up to shop.
Yeah. And ride down to the water.
To the water.
Yeah. I keep a list of like 5 different drivers in my phone so that if one's not available, I just go to the next one. To take a driver from here to Guadalajara airport, because if I'm going to be flying back to the US, I need to get to the airport.
Yes.
I just schedule that a few days before, confirm the night before, and usually it's like around maybe 500 pesos, depending, on the day. But I use the bus all the time. And I walk. It's I'm healthy enough that I can walk around. It's good exercise. I've lost some weight, looking to lose some more. I mean, it's just a healthy thing all the way around. Transportation is not a problem.
I've gone to see Dr. Losa in the community. He does house calls. I've learned about him from several people I know who have seen him. He's a young doctor, very well educated and trained. He's filled my prescriptions, told me where to go, but he sits down, has a conversation. He does a brief examination, but he talks to me and I feel like I'm heard. He's not rushing me out of his office. I've been very pleased with his attentiveness. We also have a person who comes to our house once a week and does massages. He's very well trained, a lot of medical training that he brings to his practice. I am registered with a local internist practice where I can take my insurance card and go, for outpatient services as I need to. it's just a totally different experience.
My first doctor visit here was an hour long.
Yeah.
In the U.S., you get 15 minutes.
Maybe.
If that.
If that. If you don't need a physical, you got 5 minutes. I mean, this is what we've experienced all of our lives.
Yeah.
Rush in, rush out, next patient, and this is why a lot of people get sick and they die because they are not diagnosed properly because the insurance companies do not give the doctors enough time to truly do a proper examination. Now, I understand what a proper examination is because I got that when I came here.
Yeah. My experience with the dentist, the first 2 appointments where I went in for a consult, I wasn't even charged. I would have been charged before I could have even gotten through the door in the U.S. So Dr. Candy, thank you. I've been going through some dental things. I've had several surgeries in the U.S. and was told that I could not get implants. But I've been told here, using a smaller, more narrower device, that I totally can get implants. So it's just different. And if I needed her to come out, she would have come out to the house. Bedside manner, you can't compare what we get here to the U.S. because it's non-existent there.
Dating is difficult here. I've been out with, a couple of guys, and for one thing, this is Mexico. There are not a lot of Black men here. And the ones that we do meet are married or they just, are interested in other people. And then there's the language barrier. And so that's a little bit difficult because some of the Mexican men, well, a couple, they didn't speak English and I don't speak Spanish. So it was hilarious, using the Google Translate and trying to talk and to connect with people when you don't understand the language. That's hard. But right now I'm focused on me to get what I need to get done. I am willing to make room for a relationship with someone, but when I feel like that person is willing to make space for me as well in their life, then I'll consider it.
Sunya?
Why are we looking at me? I have found that Mexican men are generally very attentive and very polite, very complimentary. The language, the music, there's just a lot of romance in terms of how Mexican men interact with us. I try really hard to not knowingly do things that's going to upset the balance of the economy. A lot of people come here throwing their money all around, but that's just, it's devastating for the community. Have some understanding of what that does to the overall economy. Tip, but don't over tip because it throws things out of balance. One of the things that I made a commitment to do was to work with Indigenous women who sew. I plan to do a partnership with the Tepewa Sewing Collective. I've done some initial work with that community so that as I dye and design fabric pieces, I'll be working with them to sew it so that we can work on a collaborative relationship.
I choose to shop more at the local stores in the pueblos. We have Costco here, we have Walmart here, and there's some things that I'm having to be pulled into those places to buy. But then when I do, I make sure that I tip the person that's bagging the bag or something like that, because I know that it's making a living for the nationalists that are here. But I choose to shop more in the communities.
I've talked to a lot of people in the community and they just have needs that are not being met. So I'm trying to figure out in talking to people, what is it that you really do need?
So often people come into an area with an idea of this is what I'm going to do for them. This is how I'm going to help them. I'm going to show them how to do such and such. But the key really is You come into a community, you learn from the community, and you find out from the community what it is that they need because they already have knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not coming to show them anything or to teach them anything. My task is to listen, to make friends, to form relationships, and out of those relationships, find out the best way that I can be useful.
Yes.
If you're looking to come to Mexico, identify why you want to come. Think about, what it is that you are going to do once you get here. Tell people to do the research. In what area do you want to go into? Make sure that when you come, you're going to be using pesos. You're not going to be using American dollars. Check out the topography of the area. If you're somebody that struggles with walking, if you have to be in a wheelchair, you need to know that there are a lot of cobblestone streets in some of the pueblos that are in inland Mexico, and that might not be a good fit for you.
Go on YouTube, find as many people living in Mexico as you can, hear the different perspectives.
Let us know when you're ready.
We're rolling.
To get your feet on the ground, get boots on the ground. And it really doesn't matter where you go, just come. Once you get here, that will open up other doors.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're used to a week's vacation, take 2. If you're used to 2 weeks vacation, take 4. I mean, once you're in the country, more than likely you will get a 180-day visa. Boots
Right
on the
now.
ground, travel.
Yeah.
Well, this has just been an amazing opportunity to share who we are and what we're about with Mexico Relocation Guide, Mariana, and the audience, the amazing audience that watches this channel. We thank you so much for your support. But this has just been a wonderful opportunity, and we thank you so much for this time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.